Hi, my relatives. Long time no see. Yeah, I feel like I have so much to update you on. We've been hard at work here in the background at our storytellers a little bit, but we recently just released Justin Jacob Lewis's podcast, who is the founder of Section 35. I definitely recommend that you go check that out. Another thing that's coming up is we actually went sturgeon fishing with a Métis fisherman on the Fraser River. That's coming out pretty soon if you're watching this. And I just want to start by letting you know that we have some cool projects on the way. And I would like to also tease that we do have something very special planned for September 30th and very special planned for Indigenous Veterans Day this year in November. So a couple of big projects coming from us there. And yeah, super grateful for all those. But today is actually the first episode of our podcast series that is actually created and produced in partnership with the Indigenous Screen Office. The Indigenous Screen Office is an amazing organization with amazing people who work to support Indigenous narrative sovereignty through video storytelling. So if you are a person that is, making content or just have an interest in our narrative and storytelling and narrative sovereignty in general, I definitely recommend you check them out. They're the grantors for this next 20 episodes of Our Storytellers. And when we received the grant, the team at Our Storytellers knew right away that we had to give whatever we could out of this grant directly back to the nation where we produce this podcast, which is Squamish Nation. So I think all people within these 20 podcasts are either from Squamish Nation and or connected / married in to the Squamish Nation in some way. So I'm very proud to have done that because I think that was the right thing to do. And one of the things that I really love about the next 20 episodes of Our Storytellers is that, these are real people and they're real stories. And you hear a little bit of a different story from everybody. And, some people went to residential school. Some people were 60's Scoop. Some people grew up right here on the reserve and lived a relatively, normal, I guess you could say, but they each have their own story or lived close to the culture. Some people were completely separated. And we got so many different perspectives from people who are all a community. And I think that's really special. I know that taught me a lot about here, but I think what this podcast series also does for the community of Vancouver as a whole is I think that it really enlightens and shows us the history of what was here before Vancouver, especially here on the North Shore, I would say. There's a lot of talk in these podcasts about Stanley Park and a lot of history that happened in the villages there. I think we might make a little bit more of an in-depth project when it comes to, the history of Vancouver and the people that were here before and the people that are still here ultimately too, which I'm connected to the people here through my mom, who is here, Yvonne Weiss, who is actually in every single one of these podcasts. She stayed with me for a month. Thank you so much, Mom, for coming and interviewing these matriarchs and people with me, because I learned so much. And one of the things I also learned is that, the local nation here is married in and connected to so many other nations within the land too. And it's just amazing to see like the interconnections between the communities and being a Métis person, that where all my family is from Manitoba, and then growing up here, you don't ever really get exposed to that unless you listen to the local people's stories. And I hope that this 20 podcast series plays a small role in bringing people the local stories. I really hope that. And I really hope that it does that. And yeah, so without further ado, I guess, on today's episode of Our Storytellers, we're joined by our good friend, Roberta Baker. Roberta was part of the 60's Scoop. She does a lot of work helping out with 60's Scoop survivors here in the local nation. And she's done a lot of work supporting the elders here in the local nation for a career. And she was so kind, and she has a smile that's just infectious, and I hope that you see that when you watch it. Yeah, so please welcome to the Our Storytellers podcast, Roberta Baker, Keenan Askaman. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, that whole YouTube stuff, and please watch all 20 if you can, or listen to all 20, because especially if you're from Vancouver, because I really think that it does do something spiritually for you. At least it did for me. And yeah, please welcome Roberta Baker.
Hello, my relatives. How are you? Here at Our Storytellers, we care about your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being, which is why we want to inform you that this podcast discusses topics that may cause trauma to listeners and viewers. These subjects include mentions of Indian residential schools, assimilation, ongoing harm, colonial impacts, and much more. Our Storytellers recognizes the need to minimize risks associated with traumatic subject matter. The Hope for Wellness Helpline offers immediate help to all Indigenous people across Canada. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to offer immediate support and crisis intervention. Services are available in English and French, and in Nehiyaw, Anishinaabe and Inuktitut upon request. If you or someone you know are experiencing any harm, no matter how big or small it's perceived to be, you can call the toll-free helpline at 1-855-242-3310 or connect to the online chat at www.hopeforwellness.ca. Keenan Askaman, I'm grateful for you. Your ancestors are always with you. All my relations, Riel.
Roberta, thank you so much for coming on the Our Storytellers podcast with my mom. I have a couple of things here for you, but this is just protocol to welcome you to the home and to just to create relations between our family and your family. And I have a blanket here for you. I have some tobacco here for you, but also I have a small honorarium here for you. Just we have a grant that we got through our podcasting partners through the Indigenous Screen Office. So this is thanks to them, and we're super grateful for them, but we're more happy to give it to you. So I'm gonna pass this over for you, and like, my name is Riel. This is my chosen mom. We've been together since I was 11 years old, and I'm Métis from Nehiyaw and Soto background, and all my family comes from Manitoba, Red River, but I grew up out here, actually mostly on Stalo lands in Mission, but I've lived here for my past 6 years and been so grateful to live in Mom's house and while I was going to university and stuff like that. Yes. And I just really wanted to, for these funded podcasts that we got, I really wanted to make sure that I could give back to the local community, to people who want to share, and it means so much to have you here. So now I'm going to stop talking. And
thank you so much.
And please introduce yourself in your own way whenever you're ready. You don't have to hold that the whole time.
No. Okay, yeah.
If you can put it to the side too.
Well, this is my first ever podcast or interview anywhere. And, I jumped out of the box for this too, right? I'm willing to learn more and share more. And all my life my opinion didn't matter. My voice wasn't heard. And so I'm feeling more better in my own skin, that I can say things without having to say, am I allowed to say that, or can I, I can be me. And yesterday it proved it. The ceremony for the 60's Scoop survivors. And I pushed for that for 8 years to be here. And, that was one of my heartfelt things to do for the others that never came home, that passed away, like you say, and aren't recognized in their bands, because I made it. I did it. And if you have the will, you found the way, right? And I proved it. Yep. And I'm here. And I thank you for bringing me here to talk with you too. Yes. It's part of my learning is to be with my elder too, right? Respected elders are that teach us. And, not knowing in my growing up, I was watching my elders, my aunties, grandmothers, with this knowledge. You see, they set them up on their schooling, whatever, their basketball, the mothers are always there taking care of the house, everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's just amazing what women do,
Couldn't agree more.
I'm Roberta Baker. I grew up Sharon Brew Baker in the foster home. And I took my name back about 5 years ago. And so I've been pushing for the 60 Scoop, and I did it. And I'm here today to help share my stories.
Well,
Yes.
welcome. And maybe we should just start with get into the ceremony that you just had yesterday. Like, what was the story behind that? How did that come to be?
I see the residentials respecting my grandparents. My parents all went through the school system, and older siblings, and then being a product of 60 Scoop. My dad wasn't even home when we were taken. He was already up fishing north, and come home to an empty house, boarded up. Oh. And Mom took off, I guess. She left us through no fault of her own. I guess that her residential experiences made her go on the downside of the alcoholism and running, I guess. I'm not sure. I didn't get to know her. And that was how I found my way home. We were allowed to her funeral when I was 13. Wow. We were still in care.
Wow.
And they weren't going to let my little sister go, but I said, no, she goes, she goes. That's our mom, right? Yeah. So they did. But then I decided then I'm coming back home. And I kept running back home, coming home, always in trouble with the police because I ran away to my home. I ended up in Willingdon School for Girls in Burnaby.
Oh, wow.
And I actually climbed the fence and took off from there. This is
That's
14 years old.
That's an infamous place.
Yes, yes. And I walked all the way to Georgia and Granville. And the two other girls followed me, right? But I told them, I'm not responsible for you. I'm on my own now. I'm on my own, but they followed. I ran into Chief Dan George, and that's my Granny Amy Paul's cousin. And I said, I know you. And I went up to him and I said, do you have bus fare? It was only like 10 cents each, right? I said, only 30 cents. He gave us $1 each. We felt rich. Yeah. We felt rich, right?
That is awesome.
And I said, I know you, right? And told him who my granny was and everything. Yeah, he hugged me and went on his way. So that, there's angels around all over, right? He was one of mine, right? Yeah. And so we made it, and but they brought me back to the foster home again and everything. And I fought the social workers, I fought police, RCMP, and the government. I said, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep, I want to go back home. That's my home. And not understanding what the scoop thing was or that, but I was just determined I want my family. And I knew my sister wasn't as strong as me,
Mm-hmm.
and she was almost 3 years younger. I just left her and I said, you stay and graduate, you know. That's all I said, you finish your school. But I came back home, I went back to school myself. And I put myself in school, I registered. And because growing up in that being prejudiced community, daily basis, you know, grade 4 teacher said I was stupid, right? So I built on that too. I did better. I did first year university. I'm a personal care attendant certificate. I've got business management, and I was a clerk typist, you know. So I proved to myself that I am not, right? You know, so I wasn't going to let anybody put me down, anything, and to suppress me anymore. And, you know, I had things to do, right?
Totally.
Yes. So that was quite a journey. And when I made it back at almost 17, still going to school, high school, I went to Hamilton and continued to graduate. And and I worked 35 years in the personal care business in my communities. And, you know, that's the job I loved. I like taking care of my elders. And I heard stories. I seen stories, right? You know, and I was living it already, you know, learning from my elders. And it's just something that stuck in me to always learn something new every day, you know, because there's a lot out in this world that, you know, that interested me, you know. Always trying something new, artwork, right? I always read. I loved reading.
Something better for you.
Yes, searching for that. And the universe. I knew at a young age, I said, we're from the universe, you know?
Yes.
Yes. And everybody looking at me, we're made of stars and everything. And I'm going like this to them, and, you know, wow, they're weird or what, right? And,
nice.
And then, you know.
It's true, though.
It is, you know. If you think about it, really think about it. And I guess protecting myself in this situation of the 60's Scoop, I learned to astral travel.
Really?
Yes. At a very young age, right? You know, I could remember flying zooming all over the place and everything, but now I'm doing the work of the Creator. In the realms, you know. I don't know what I'm doing. He's not letting me, but I come back home more tired than I went to sleep, you know. So yes, you know. So it's interesting, you know.
A lot of spiritual travel.
Yes, because I've died twice, right?
Yeah.
I was 18 the first time. I was watching myself on the table.
Wow.
Yes, and I zoomed off, and I had an ectopic pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
And so we both died on the table, so I brought him to heaven.
Did you?
Yes, I was there and I handed it to him. There was 3 or 4 of them in front of me. I could see silhouettes, and, you know, and but they said, you got to go back. I woke up screaming, no, because I didn't want to come back.
Oh.
Yes. So, you know, I was 18. I never told anybody for years because I didn't think they'd believe me, right? And then just recently, 2023, I died again on the table, you know, but it was a different experience.
Wow.
And so, but I came back with more knowledge and understanding, and it's hard to explain at times, but, you know, I just know, I know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh,
right?
You know.
Yes.
We
How do you know? And I go, it's just there.
Yes.
It's just there.
But our spiritual connection, so your spirit connected with others and gave you that knowledge.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that go in ceremony, whether it's forced, like where you died on the table.
Yes.
But yeah, they have these amazing experiences that give them direction, knowledge, guidance. Listening to that spirit
Yes.
gives you that.
Set me back because I got more to learn and more to teach, maybe.
You're not done.
No. And I'm not going to say it third time. Not yet. I just
Not
put it
gonna-
in.
Yeah, wherever.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Totally.
because
Let's go back to like, I'm just curious about like what growing up was like a little bit. So, like, were you in one foster home the whole time and bounced around? Like, what were your parents like if you were just in one?
the mother was English, proper and etiquette and all that. And the grandmother was Australian.
Really?
I don't know how that came in there, but I didn't meet the grandfather. He was Sir Drysdale, knighted by the Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
And, I didn't really think on it back in the day there, but to think he was knighted, he was a knight,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they were humble. I just didn't get the love and belonging and I had the security and safety, but, I was just there.
Yeah.
And that made me yearn more for my own family because I wasn't getting any. And my sister was way younger and she cried and cried. But I realized we didn't even talk about we missed their family. I want my brothers. And we had 5 older brothers.
Wow.
Yes, and 1 younger. And
Wow.
so Wallace was just a baby put in a home out in Richmond. A lot of them were out in Richmond and Burnaby. And we grew up close to home. It was about 2 miles away from the reserve,
Wow.
Ambleside.
Yeah.
Yes. And,
Yeah.
got older, we'd walk closer to the train bridge, the river. And me and my sister would just stand there and stare. We were remembering,
Yeah.
I know this place, right? We used to swim on the West Van side in the slough,
Yep.
right? We'd cross the bridge and
Yeah.
go down there. We'd catch the train from Mission. Right.
Remember jumping trains, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I did it as a kid too.
But,
I go fishing too.
I was remembering that. And so, we'd go back home and we'd talk about it to the foster mom. And she goes, no, that had nothing happened. She just denied it. She wouldn't talk to us
Wow.
about anything. Oh, your mom's dead. You don't have brothers. She just lied to us. And that's what really made me push her away more. And, not,
Yeah.
I did everything. I was Cinderella. I did the dishes, the cleaning, the garbage, the wood pile, everything. And but I did it also to help save my sister
Yeah.
from the cruelty of if we didn't do it, we get strapped, right?
Wow.
And so that part was growing up. She couldn't do it no more. I just laugh at her, and embarrassed her.
Mhm.
I could see it, right? Well, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
The daughter would purposely get us in trouble, and so that's the things we've fought on a daily basis. The schools were prejudiced. I was fighting boys and everything.
Wow.
Always in the principal's office, getting my hands strapped, and me, I'd laughed at the principal later too. My hands were so used to it, and I'd laugh, go home, he yelled at me.
Oh.
So, I was anyone to reckon with, right? But I didn't start fights, I ended them. I
I always said that too.
never started a fight, I still don't,
Yeah.
And so
You just still end them.
yeah,
Finish 'em off.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
And
shut this
yes.
down.
But then I learned to use the mouth. It's even deadlier.
Work
know,
smarter, not harder,
yes.
Roberta.
Yes.
Hey, my relatives, super quick pause in this episode of Our Storytellers just to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office. The Indigenous Screen Office supports Indigenous narrative sovereignty through storytelling on screen. They provide grants to small podcasts like us to support our growth and to support the guests that we can have come on. Big thanks to them. Please check them out on Instagram. Please check out their website. You never know, there might be an opportunity for you on there, especially if you're creating content. Get out there and check them out. Thank you so much to our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office. Back to the podcast.
You know, it was hard living with that silence, you know?
Yeah.
Is this what life's supposed to be, you know, silent, you know? Then her sister lived next door. She had adopted 2 kids. And her older stepchildren were half Native. And, you know, but I was treated different than they were. And, you know, we were called names. We were, especially the N word.
Yeah.
They taught me prejudice, you know, and to hate. And that was my worst word, was hate, you know.
So you're growing up there. Eventually you start running away and being brought back and stuff like that. How do you make it back? So when you make it back at 17, right? You roll yourself in school. Where do you stay?
My dad had a condominium on the North Shore, and I had my grandparents, Amy Campbell, in Musqueam.
Yeah.
And I was back and forth in the summer times and that, and then I went and enrolled in school, so I always stayed at my dad's. And he says to me, I can't take care of girls. I can't take care of you. Because I had 3 older brothers still staying there and an older cousin, right? They're all males. Mm-hmm. And I said, don't worry, Dad, I'll take care of you. And so if you can, you know, so he let it be. And I did take care of him till he died in 2015.
Wow.
Yes. So I was always there for him. And because, you know, I lost our mom when I was 13, but I didn't see her since I was 5.
Right.
Yes. So my family dynamics was number 1, you know. Yeah. And
what was your dad like?
He was a big, burly, tough guy. He lost an eye when he was a young boy. So growing up there, they called him Popeye. And my uncle Wimpy. And he would call me Sweet Pea all the time.
Oh, Sweet Pea.
Oh, nice.
You had every character.
Yes.
You had it all.
Yes. But, you know, because of the eye and all that, but they would look like twins. Uncle Wimpy and my dad, you know, and they were 5 years apart. You know, I had to wait till they were about a half a block away to there's Dad. You know?
And what was your dad's name?
Eugene Baker.
Eugene Baker.
He was a seine boat fisher up north with the halibuts and all that. So, you know, he loved his fishing. Yeah. And years down the road there, he moved up Brackendale and fished the rivers. And I got to go on the river with him. He was scared to let me on there, but, you know, I said, no, I want to experience. I want to know, Dad, you know. Yeah. I was sitting right close to him like this, you know, like I was in his back pocket, right?
Nice.
And he taught me how to shoot guns. And
Awesome.
I said, teach me your net mending. I learned how to mend his nets and everything, right? So beautiful. I think I was his son he didn't have, you know. Yeah. All my brothers didn't go that way.
Just you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was interested in what he did, right? And I did it with him. So I even went on a seine boat myself. My brother's never been on a seine boat ever, you know.
Wow. Really?
I was working for cook crew at first, and I ended up being part of the crew, going out on the bow of the boat, pulling the net in and climbing up the bow and everything, yes. Yeah. So I learned a lot. Work. Yes. Yeah. It was adventure, you know. I love being outdoors, being physical, doing things, not behind a desk, you know. Yeah. And so that was awesome to be able to try these things, right?
Oh,
I went out with
absolutely, yeah.
my Squamish cousins, the sparrows.
Yeah.
They're the
They're
ones
big
that,
fishers
yes,
too, yes.
yeah. So I was on one of the boats.
Yeah, they still fish up
Yes,
in
yes.
Musqueam a lot. We don't have any a lot of fishers here.
No,
I
we do the
think.
rivers. We do the rivers.
Yeah,
Yes.
individual on
Yes.
on the river. But you're right. I don't think we have any big boats anymore, do we?
No.
No. I'm not sure when that stopped.
I know it's like the food fish. Where do we get the food fish from now, right?
They hire people from other nations,
Yeah.
and they hire fisheries like commercial fishing now, I believe.
And there's none this year.
And there was nothing. Well, there hasn't been anything for the
No.
last few years, I believe, because I think what I got last year, a lot of it was freezer burnt, and the cans were at least 2 years old.
Yes,
So
I went
there
over.
hasn't been.
Last year we went to Port Alberni, my auntie and I, Liz Campbell, and bought sockeye from there. But
Yeah.
they were the first run, and they're the small ones, right?
Oh yeah.
And they
yeah.
cleaned them, and they looked even smaller.
Yes.
And she went out online and found a tote, and it was a big
Tiny little
filled the
fish.
back of the car, and it was just filled the bottom. You know?
Oh no.
Here we're thinking of getting those big fish, right? You know.
I know.
I can't even get the head and tail anymore. Everybody's cutting them off, keeping them.
I know. I remember growing up, and they made fish head soup. And those old women would fight over the heads.
The eggs.
The eggs. I know.
Yes.
Just the big pots of soup going, right? So
Yeah.
I know.
So were you out fishing? That must have been like in your early 20s ish kind of thing, or
I was 17, almost 18 when I was doing that.
when you were doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I
Wow.
went back to Cap College. That's all. Got all my training was from Cap College,
Oh,
and I
wow.
finished there. And now it's a university.
Now it's become a university.
Yes.
That's right.
But
You
I
grew
said,
up, I guess.
you know, your student number. I was still like 1977. They're going, how come your number's so low? I'm not that old, but
Not really.
yes, but that's where I got all my education from, was Cap College, right?
Oh,
You know,
fantastic.
yeah, and
What was your journey like reconnecting? Like, is that how you felt, like really connected to your family again? I guess it's through fishing and stuff like that. Was there any ceremony or anything like that?
no, not in them days. There, you know, it was just get on your boat and go. It's not like now where the salmon season's opening, or you know, you wake in your canoe. I never heard of that part being followed before. Is this something new, or they really, as they say, everything has a spirit, right? And I believe that.
Yeah.
And you know, even the dirt we walk on, the grass, you know, they actually say when you cut the grass, the smell it's their screams.
Really?
You know? Yeah. So everything's got a spirit in them, right? And yeah. I lost track there.
That's all good.
It's all
That's part of the fun. That's what editing's
I went
for.
that way instead of this way.
I'll make it smooth.
Yeah.
So what did you go to Cap College for?
Actually, because when I was finishing high school, was grade 11 in Carson Graham, and I signed up late, and I didn't get electives and all, and I got stuck with programs I didn't want. And so, you know, I said, well, enough of this there. I want to apply to Cap College and to get some schooling, and I did a clerk typist course. They're
Right.
looking for workers in social development then.
Right.
And but then that was a desk job, you know, and so I did the course and everything, but then I went back and took another course and went into business management because at the time their welfare was only like $85 a month, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going, what? You know? And that's supposed to feed us 4 at the house. We each get 85, but that's nothing.
Yeah.
So no, I'm going to go make money. I'm going to learn how to make money, you know, do what I want, that I like, you know, and find
Do something
yes,
different with
other
yourself.
than welfare, right? You know, and why don't you work, right? You know, telling people and all that, you know, that they didn't have the same mindset because I'm new to the community and I see out there the working force, everyone's school, college, and then, you know, university, and it's the way that colonizers live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I adapted ways from there. I brought behaviors home from my foster home
Yeah.
and not really realizing I carried them.
Right.
And but that sense of the work was in my mind all the time.
Yeah.
To survive, you need to make this. You need money. You need to pay your rent, and then especially when I had my daughter, you know, that made it even more double time and work harder. Single parent, not even getting help from him. I didn't need it. He wasn't providing it anyway. So, you know, why fight for something that's not there?
Your daughter's dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
So I even told them that when, I said, no, he's not contributing anything. That's the last you're going to hear about it. Right? You know, quit pushing me and this and that. He's not going to, you can't get blood from a stone, I said to them.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Okay, that's the bottom line.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
You know? So okay, ma'am. Right? So stop bugging me about it, you know. And,
I'm
you know,
providing
just let
for
me
my daughter.
let me do what I need to do. You know.
When did you have your daughter?
1980.
1980.
Yes. And we lived on the North Shore.
Should be about the same age as my daughter. My oldest.
Oh yes, yes.
She's about 45.
Yes.
Yep.
July. Right?
Yep.
Her father's Słamin
Yeah.
from up Paul River way. And we split up when she was younger, a year old, and we tried for like 8-10 years, but I said, he asked me to marry him every 2 years. I said, no, ask me another 2, and went on 8. So I said, no, that's it. No.
Nope.
No.
Not doing
I don't
this.
know. I was saying too in my own mind, I'm not losing my Baker name. That's like losing me again.
Yeah.
You know?
Your
I want to hold on
identity.
to me. Yes. And if I did, I said I'd keep my Baker name anyway, right? You know? But after that, it wasn't better alone.
Yeah.
I was better on my own. Yes. And, you know, all my life I've been fighting, working, and helping. And it's time to take care of me. You know? I'm going to be 67 this year.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, time's not stopping for us, you know?
No, that is true.
And the medical
for no
problems.
one.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When you get older, then you're right. Health problems start to settle in
Yeah.
too.
And, you know, fighting meds and everything, you know, but just to survive another day, you know? But survival was what I'd lived on daily and protecting my little sister.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the first years of elementary and all this, but after she got older, I could see she could handle herself, and I was able to let her go a bit. Me let her go, right? You know?
Yeah.
And but you know, she turned out good, you know, fine, but we don't talk about it, the experience. We
No.
never did. And but I know how she feels. I could see it, you know, and but I won't push her. She'll come around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe it's enough hearing me always vocalizing what we went through, and like I was saying, she had a bit of an easier time as the control of, like I said, Cinderella. And, but, I did it to do it to not be punished, so,
Yeah.
but Maureen said, Mom, we had to call her Mummy, not Mom or Ma or anything. It had to be Mummy, right?
Oh, okay.
Said she wished Mandy was just like you. This was years later, right, when we made it home.
Wow.
Because Mandy was the disruptor, she agnetized her own mom, and her grandparents. She did what she wanted and everything, but she, why couldn't she tell me that herself? And
Mandy was your
foster sister.
Foster sister.
And
sister.
yeah, she says, why
okay.
couldn't Mandy be like you, me?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, wow, to hear that years later, it was like, what?
Yeah.
We don't realize everybody has a different perspective, right? As children, I think we just experience what's going on, don't we?
Yes.
So when you came back, did you have to regain your membership eventually?
I guess I was already registered.
You're already registered.
And still in the books, and they know I'm Eugene and Janet's daughter and family.
Right.
I guess, because when I turned 19 there, I had my status number and got my own bank account and everything. But I was just, because a lot of them were taken away. And just maybe because they know that we were the family, that they reinstated us or something. I'm not sure. In their books, right? Because right now my grandchildren are 10 and 6 and still haven't been registered with the band. But they're registered with DIA, right? But they're not registered as band members.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you think that that's because of the existing membership
I think
codes?
so. Yes.
And the way that they designed those.
If you're registered with the DIA, though.
As a status member, you still have to gain membership with the
to be within the Squamish.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's twofold. When the legislation changed to deal with enfranchised people in 1981, the legislation was going to change for 1985. So in 81, Indian Affairs went to all of the First Nations and started to work on this thing they called membership codes. And all those membership codes meant that it was an additional barrier. Like all these enfranchised people could register as status Indians, but the other barrier was that they could not gain membership with the individual bands because it boiled down to funding. They weren't going to fund any of the enfranchised. They basically told the bands that they had to spread it further, their funding. They wouldn't be eligible for additional. So it created an issue around that for people.
So it must have made so that the bands were like, well, we have this much for our people already.
We don't want you back.
Right.
We don't want you back. And there was a lot of pushback.
Oh, interesting.
So, because the legislation created also these levels of membership in status. Bill C-31, Bill C-31-6.
The married-ins.
Married-ins, and because there was, up until 1981, men who had wives or partners that were not Indigenous, they got status and membership.
This is what Granny fought for, to equalize that.
Membership and status,
Yeah.
yes. So she was part of that work that with, Teresa and others that came together to change the legislation.
Right.
But that level of status determination did not give you membership. You still had to go to the band and appeal to them to get
Isn't
registered.
that just like an extension of genocide?
Well, of course it is,
Yes.
because it's about genocide of the women.
Yes.
Because you kill the women's
Yes.
lines off by
And
doing.
they're not producing band members and, and
Right.
building the nation. And so, yeah, that was a way of eliminating population in our reserves too. And I said that was totally wrong. But then to invite the women in, but to bring in the non-nation blood, right?
Well, they brought all these non-native women in,
Yes.
and they were given full equal status
Yes.
and membership. But if you married a non-native man, there's no way you would
No.
be able to bring him in.
No.
If you married a native man, you would not be able to bring him in.
No.
So it almost seems like it goes against patriarchy when they claim their patriarchy.
Yes.
Appeal.
Like band member, he's got a woman from another reserve and they won't let her in, but he was previously married and she won't divorce him. But nowadays you can just appeal the divorce now.
Yes.
And I keep telling him to do it
Yeah.
because he's been with this other woman 30
For-
plus years.
Holy smokes.
And the wife won't give up the divorce because she wants the house.
Well, she
Right?
has no
These are the
stand.
things that we fight.
And she's
You know-
non-native.
She's not
She's
native.
native.
Oh, she's native.
Native
She's
from a
native.
different nation.
Yes.
Oh,
from
different
another
nation, but she doesn't wanna give
divorced.
up.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And when you divorce, they get nothing if you're not from here, right?
Well, of course.
But if you marry a nation man and woman, of course they're going to have half and half, right? But this situation is they're not band members, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to get to be band members, some of them. And like a sister-in-law trying to get in now for years. And I says, well, I sure hope you don't get in before my granddaughters, I said to her,
Yeah.
Well, of course.
And she
It's-
just,
it
huh?
seems-
Right? No, I'm telling you the truth. You
Yeah.
know,
So your granddaughters are not in, but they're working on it right now.
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So what does that process look like? Like it's just
too
an application.
slow. It's
Too slow.
They're not listening to us. The 2013 membership code that went through, I was totally against it. I was living off reserve at the time, and I got a hold of a counselor. I was on the phone for an hour and a half with him discussing this membership code. And I really wanted to know what's going on, what's going to happen. And, even then, council wasn't in there for us. If they were, they would give us the advice to say, no, go this way. No, we'll help you. We'll help you understand it. They just shove it down our throats to pass these referendums, right?
Yeah, short referendums.
Yes, these referendums got to be done time frames. And some of the questions they ask, there's 1 or 2, 3 questions in the one. You agree with 2, but not 1. If you don't agree with the none, you're not agreeing with the other 2. And I said, these are trick questions, and why are they throwing it at us? And do you understand this? That's my favorite word. Do you understand what you're saying to
Yeah.
people, right? Because, and why is it multiple choice in one question, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And-
they're not designed well,
No.
right?
No.
And they don't get to all of the members who should be eligible to vote.
So I bet you most of the people voted for the 2 that were there and ignoring the no, right?
Yeah.
So that brought the no in, right? Yes. They're not understanding. They're tricking them. And, I try to tell people, I try talking to them and try reasoning with them and say no, right? They're tricking you. Don't even do the referendum. Don't,
So would you say the current referendum is designed in a similar fashion?
Yes. It's geared to get their way. They're evasive with the questions, and if you don't read between the lines, you're lost.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to have a knowledge of the actual workings of not only because I think it's electoral reform is
Yes.
the one we're facing right
Yes. And that's also to bring back the 16 counselors. Why 16? We tried the 12, everybody disagreed. And it's just, we all need to get on the same page.
now.
You're going on by what someone else's anger says. You're not really reading what's said,
Right.
or you're not understanding what's said. And so you got to get someone that reads it and rereads it and understands it and can tell you. And I'm one of those ones that reread and reread because that's how I learned. I was always like my own teacher in back elementary and that, right? Because I was scared to ask for help. I was always pushed back. And so I had to figure out how to do it myself. So I'm to that day, I still figure out, and I'll go through worst case scenarios first, right? And then the simpler, you'll be, right?
Yep.
Yes.
The light bulb just went off.
Oh, yeah.
You're funny.
Being brought up listening and not being heard, I heard a lot.
Yeah.
I heard a lot. I figure out how these Holaytans click, because I grew up with them. And,
Exactly.
Yes. So
you got their vibe.
I got the quiet teachings, right?
Yeah.
And people just, but that's all I had was reading. That's all I could do. There was no TV, no nothing. They wouldn't buy us things for arts, crafts, nothing. So I learned to walk to the library and come back with a whole load of books. Are you going to read all of them? Yeah, sometimes twice. I tell her. Yeah.
Sometimes twice. That was great.
I just loved my reading, and it taught me so much, right? That's what I try and teach these kids today. Get off that phone and get a book.
Pick a book up.
Yes, I'll read with you. You'll learn more.
All of our brothers, we all read, which is nice.
Yes.
These guys were raised with they always got at least 2 or 3 books for Christmas, and they always got books for their birthday and Easter. Instead of traditional gifts, I'd give like books or something.
Yes.
Or I tell them they could pick whatever they wanted from the book fairs, right? Just to encourage the picking up of them.
Yes.
Even if they didn't read them, they just
I love that
pretty
book.
colors and that.
Yes, I won it at the Elder Center one luncheon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was one of my. I have Granny's copy of her book.
Oh, nice.
That I took from her, but
She shared it with you.
Yeah. But
here, read this, she says.
so you can borrow my copy, but I love that book. I can't even believe that book exists sometimes. But have you ever read it?
Yes, I tried, but my eyesight now is just. I had it years back when I first came home in the 80s, right? Early 70s and that. And I was always interested in the books, right? And how to find them. No one would know or whatever, and forget about it. But I'm glad I got one now.
Awesome.
I'm trying to write a book, the 60's Scoop, my story.
Awesome.
Yes, and got a few little books like these done, and through the years, right? And
got it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a project, a personal project.
Yes.
That's a great project.
It is, and like Sam George wrote one too, right? The Fire Still Burns or something. His name of the book.
Yes.
Residential.
Yeah, because he was a residential school star. He's
Yes.
around the same age as my mom.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I think he was maybe a little bit younger, not much though. She was 81. So I remember when I first saw a copy of this book. It was a very long time ago, But I noticed it's just like they took all of his interviews and just stapled them all together
Yes.
in one booklet, and then they put them out like that. And the guy who interviewed, who was Major Matthews, he wrote his notes underneath all the time. So he would write his comments, judgments in many cases, right? Because he'd say, "Oh yeah, here's what I have always believed to be an authentic, smart businessman, an authentic Indian, and he really believes the story that you just read." And,
so he was.
and I wouldn't question him, because the last time I questioned him about something, I got the strongest retort back possible. And I thought, but you're saying that what he's sharing with you isn't true. And I thought, well, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a guest on Our Storytellers? Because all you have to do to connect with us is just email info@ourstorytellers.ca, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. That sounds like a voicemail, which I think is hilarious. But if you email us, we'll give you a call and we'll listen to your story, and we'll probably film it. So please reach out to us if you're interested in being a guest, because we love to share stories from all walks of life, from all different experiences. We think that everybody's story is valuable and that you can learn from anybody's story. So please email us, and we'll schedule a call with you as soon as we can. That also sounds like a voicemail, but back to the podcast.
I look at honorary doctorates as being the colonial recognition of their education, right? But I look at their knowledge. They already have their degrees in our people's way of being. And we don't measure our knowledge the same way that settler colonial society does, right? So it's important for, settlers to put a degree on that to say, well, now we know you're officially one of us. That's kind of how I look at some of those things, but it's how they acknowledge
Our ways.
our knowledge.
Yeah, the ways
Right?
we grew.
They're providing the
Followed.
highest honor that they can to say that we're giving you an honorary doctorate because we recognize that you have
Okay.
that knowledge. And I think that's how it is.
Comes by.
Yeah. So I don't think it's I think it's earned,
Okay, yes.
right?
But a lot don't see that or feel it because they're not understanding what it is. And so there's always this misconceptions of, and that snow falls,
Yep.
And so that's what they say, so they believe it. I said, you guys can believe anything you want, but is it actual true? Do you have the facts? Do you know?
Yeah.
And ask.
Mhm.
The only
Ask and do.
Yeah, the only stupid question is none. That's what I tell my grandkids, right?
That's true.
Yes.
Tell us about your grandchildren.
Oh, I've got Tanisha. She's 27, but she's cerebral palsy, one-on-one for life.
Yeah.
But she's an amazing woman.
Yeah.
She's got her own sense of humor. And I always ask her, do you love Grandma? No. She always says, right? Yeah, you do. No. She's just playing with me, right? And she was close to me when she was born, and we connected spiritually, and when we were separated, all she had to do was look at my picture and she'd calm down,
No.
And but she's out in Maple Ridge. Brandon has just made me a new great grandmother.
Wonderful.
8 December, he had a daughter.
Wow.
Yes,
he's
20, going on 26 this year.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Sean, he's actually, I believe he's my reincarnated son I lost when I died and went to heaven.
Wow.
And that connection when he was born was unmatchable for any. I had him more than my daughter.
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was my son. When do you have your baby? No, it's my grandson. Right? Yeah, and
Aw.
he was the one I encouraged to come home from foster home. I said,
Nice.
come back home. And they came to get him at my house, and we're sitting out front there. I'm always in my yard, right?
Yeah.
And he's sitting beside me, and he's, don't worry, just sit there, relax. Yeah. I've got it. I said, you know, and sure enough, 2 minutes later, they left. He was still there. I said, yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're with Grandma.
Yeah.
So he's been there since.
Wow.
He's quite a bit affected by the home, the abuse and his situations, right? They weren't always together. And, but he's home and he's coming out of his shell, and, you know, we're working with him. And
Trauma
yes.
really does a number on people.
Yes.
And it's different for everybody. That
Yes.
experience is so different for everyone.
It is. And, you know, I encourage him to, when he needs to, come talk to me.
Yeah.
He'll come to me when he needs that hug. Or I said, don't worry, son, you know, you are my son. I said, you know, even when your mommy was in my belly, you're still my son. They say
Yep.
that, right?
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
But I was told that my son would reincarnate into one of my grandchildren. And
Really?
so that
You already knew that.
that instant
Yeah.
bond, you know, was awesome. And, you know, to know that he looks like him too.
Does he really? That's so beautiful.
The healer sent him a vision of him. And my
Really?
grandson looks just like him.
That's
Yes,
so beautiful.
it is.
Wow.
And she said, they'll be with you forever, both of them, right? And because I was at Squamish, she came to me and said, pulled me out and told me, you got somebody hanging on to you, and he needs a burning and some clothes. So, okay, that was the second time someone came to me. They said, you've got a little boy, 8 years old, hanging on to you, right?
Yeah.
So I named him. But the ceremony didn't continue until I saw the Squamish.
Really?
Yes. And she told me to do this. And I'll send you to him, she says. Oh, I got home after the healing ceremony and sat down, and there he was, standing in the middle of all my coats hanging on the rack.
Wow.
Yes, he just turned and smiled at me. She said, that's so you know what to buy him, his clothes.
Yeah.
So I know what height and...
Yep.
And when I went to go pick his clothes out there, I don't know what size shoes, right? You know, so I pick it up. It went flying out of my hand. Oh, okay, not that size.
Not that
size. So he brought me straight to what he wanted.
Wow.
Yes. And
That's
he
awesome.
sang a song to me at the burning before he could talk to me.
Really?
Yes, and he was already in his 42 in heaven.
Wow.
Yes. So that was such an experience, right? You know, and just,
That's incredible.
and to know he's reincarnated into my grandson.
It's just
Yes.
special.
You know,
isn't
it just tingles every time I talk about it.
You knew he was coming. You
Yes.
already knew he was
Yes.
coming.
Yes.
That is so. It just
I
gives you
missed a good
goosebumps.
story.
Oh.
I had to go ask the guy to stop weed whacking right outside the window. I missed a good story.
Oh.
I'll watch it back. Don't worry, I'll hear it later.
The best. You know, one of the things that I've been involved in being in Alberta is with a group of women who are like doulas, midwives, aunties, birth workers, support for families that are bringing our new spirits into the world, right? And one of the women, her name is Dr. Darlene Auger. She had a really elaborate vision of how these spirits are, that they're like on a big slide, and they're all these babies that are these spirits that are waiting to come, and they choose their parents.
Mm-hmm.
how they come through, and that like they're part of that contract, right? So when you share this story with me, that goosebumps is like hearing from our own how we're given those gifts. Like when our babies don't come through, they're part of that decision making to not come all the way,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that it wasn't the right time. But your son came back as your grandson
Yes.
because it was the right time. So it wasn't, like that spirit was always connected to you somehow.
Yes.
But incredible.
And me not knowing we were connected all those years too, right? He was with me all the time.
Yeah. And then
And-
doing that, like being called to do, because
That
he was always
ceremony.
attached with
Yes.
you. He never left you.
Yes. And
Always.
I guess my spirit was always reaching for him.
Yeah.
And twice I've had to put myself back together. My feet were just hanging on. And
Wow.
the lady healer in Sotalela said, put your hands. She went like this, put me in my hands. Wiggling around. She goes, that's you.
Wow.
And I was, whoa, as I could feel it, and she's like, put yourself back together. And she didn't even say how, I just knew how to
Come back together.
come back and stomp it back. And I'm going, whoa, right? That's the second time I've had to do that. That was with Gwen and Stephen Point, where the Squamish that told me my son was asking for a ceremony and clothes, right?
Yeah.
And she had to do that, put me back too, right?
Wow.
Just because I keep leaving to find him, and like I astral travel a lot too.
Yes.
And
yes. So.
I did it in the longhouse. I astral travel. I'm not supposed to be here, I said to myself, because I am Skszwx, and I know I'm red-faced, right? Then I see this red-faced lady down on, because we're up on the bleachers, and she's dancing away there, kept looking at me and said, I'm not supposed to be here. Boom, there I went.
Wow.
Yes. And my niece Charlene there, come back, she was saying to me, right?
Come back.
And she was trying to grab me. She said, I went way the heck up there.
Wow.
And I flew so fast, she said she had a hard time getting me back. But then when I did, I could feel me clunk myself back into it. And then she goes, Charlene, we heard at the same time, this young girl came from behind her, but it wasn't her saying it. And we both just looked at her like, let's get out of here, we said. So we
It's
got
time
up.
to go.
So we got up and left the longhouse.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't the right time to do that, right? Astral travel.
Yeah.
Because my soul was gone.
Wow.
And Skszwx, they give you a spirit.
Why
right?
wasn't it the right time to do it?
Because I'm in a house where all spirits are around, and one could have jumped into me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
See that when she talks about Skszwx,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And in the longhouse, it's like in Star Lodges and Sundance, your spirits, if your spirit's gone, you have to make sure that it's connected to you, so it tethers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same
and comes,
thing.
Yes. So
Okay.
you know what that's like, because
Yeah.
in Sundance we dance the same way, right? We're not in
Yes.
our spirit.
So I've learned to put tamith on my feet.
It's why
It's
we
red.
have our sage
Hmm.
wristlets, anklets, and head,
Oh, really?
because that sage
Oh, we do
and
the
the
same
red
thing.
print holds our spirit tethered to our body
Sali,
while
what we call Sali.
yeah.
yes.
And in Sundance it's the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Our names for it are just a little different.
Hmm.
My calling was to Sundance, even though my family's mass dancers.
Yeah.
So I was called to travel that way on that road, and
Nice.
it's the same.
That's
it's-
so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, you understand how our ceremonies, because the longhouses are the locative, it's locative to here. In
And-
Sundances on the prairies, they're locative to the
Yeah.
prairies, right?
Because in that house, there's a lot of spirits that need to be sung, need to sing. And my spirit took off. They could have came.
A different one.
Yes. And I would have been indeed sick and have to get worked on, you know, and I wouldn't have my spirit back.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why it was at the wrong time.
Oh.
And so
The right work wasn't done to preserve and make sure it wasn't ready
yes,
for that experience.
it was a split, instantaneous happened, eh?
Right.
That it happened, and
Yeah.
because I said I don't belong here or need to be here. That's something I said. So there I went.
Yeah.
Because I also did that, you know, Shannon Falls up Squamish.
Yes.
Yes. My auntie has lived in that cabin just below there.
Oh yeah.
That I forget what Klahani, and I'd always walk up to the falls
Yeah.
because I just love water and I could access it, right? So I walked up there and I was having problems with my legs. This started 2019,
Yeah.
and that was, I believe they think it was because of vascular, right?
Oh yeah.
But also the same team, the Squamish, Stephen Point, said I left my legs up that waterfall.
Really?
Oh.
That I really wanted to make it up there, but I couldn't. But my spirit legs took off and on me and went up.
Ah.
And so I was
separated
having,
from you.
yes.
Yes.
So I was really limping and having a problem, and they pulled me out again to work on me, Squamish, right?
Yeah.
And they said, go back to that waterfalls you were and go to the top and pray for your legs back and light a fire. I said, you can't light a fire in a park like that, right? So, oh my God, what, you know, what do I do, right? So I brought candles.
Flame.
Good.
Flame.
Yes. And the Shannon Creek it's called, right?
Yeah.
The water that comes down. So it was pretty swift at places there. So I said, let's try here, I said, right?
Yeah.
So I lit the candles and I put in, took off socks, whatever. And as soon as I put the leg in there, it just shocked like this. My
Really?
leg came back. Yes. And my niece, she can see and hear things too, right? She,
Yeah.
whoa, she goes, she saw a flash, right? I said,
Yeah.
did you see that? And I said,
Yeah.
the water just went kind of like bubbled around where it went into, and I said, whoa, right? Whoa, let's go, right?
I'm ready to go now.
So we did. I managed to walk all the way up and then all the way back down. Plus we have to go across the highway,
Yeah.
but then I have to go all up to get to the cabin too.
Yeah.
And I did it all in one movement, no stopping, no out of breath or anything.
So
I
you
said,
got your legs
whoa,
back.
right? You know? And I
Nice.
tell that story, people, you lost your legs, right? You know, and they came back, right? You know? Yes. And the spirit, the
Yeah.
spiritual, yes. You know,
But that
things
really
that
is,
happen.
it really is kind of the way things are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when you listen and you pay attention to the connecting of your spirit.
Yes.
And
That brings it back to the universe, right? You know, when I was saying, walking through, cutting through, I was still fighting my foster family to come home yet. And I walked through, I said, I was born in Capilano, I'm going to die in Capilano. And I was walking by the school I was taken from.
Yeah.
And it was already dead end road then, you
Yeah.
know, so I cut through to the trails and walked over the train bridge back home. And here I am. I got a house on the street looking across the school almost and everything, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I did it. You know, I put it in the
I'm
universe.
here.
Yes. Yes. What you put out there, that's what they say. Watch your words. Watch your words, you know?
That's right. Walk carefully, right?
Yes.
Speak carefully.
So when how did you get into making the feathers?
Oh, that was just walking around at the beaches there, I found, oh, these are eagle feathers and there's goose. So, I first learned how the different feathers they were.
Yeah.
And then learning that they were spiritual, they carry our prayers up. And so I was just beginner beater too, so I started, and experimented and then ended up people wanting me to bead for them.
Yeah.
And my beading got better and the techniques and it just turned that they speak to me now. That the feather I'm holding may have this green first and then that one and then another color. No, I make mistakes. I have to rip it apart, start over. I'll do the dark, then the green. No. And, they'll tell me what color to use first and what pattern in some cases.
Wow.
Yes. And sometimes that feather would be so rough going through, making mistakes in this and put it down. And no, I'd cut it off and start the whole thing over because that frustration's in there.
Right.
And so that's probably what's messing me up because it still hasn't been cleared.
Yeah.
So I'd start over and it sometimes come out as a completely different color and patterns. And it directed me. And it's amazing too. I pray to them before I work with them. I smudge them, smudge my area, smudge me while I do it. And then I smudge it before I give it to the person that asked me to do this work. Because Heather Damien gave me pretty well the whole bird, all the feathers, and I beaded them all like 25.
Wow.
And 5 raven.
Wow.
And the first 15 were red and white, bit of black. So there was a lot of same colors, and
Wow.
and the designs, and not one was the same,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And
So you just follow what's flowing out as the
yes,
pattern, and
yeah.
it just.
Yeah, and she gave it back to the community where she found the bird. She gave the canoe club in Burrard.
Yeah.
She found the bird in their reserve. So she came, she cleaned it, washed it, and brought it to me all prepared.
Yeah.
And so I did that part for her, and she went and gave them all back.
Incredible.
And, part of me always goes into these, right?
Yeah.
My spirit, and I will never do it when I'm sad,
Right.
funerals or something,
Yeah.
But at times you're on a crunch, your deadline,
We know.
Just smudge like crazy.
Yeah, we know.
Praying a lot. Yes. Just do it. So.
Do it.
But,
That's when I make mistakes every time. That's when I make mistakes. I'm like, gotta redo it all.
Yeah.
And it's the night before you gotta give it to someone. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, one eye.
Yes.
Got enough beads for a while. Got enough beads.
I know. I do that with these blankets when I make blankets.
Yeah, Mom made that
yes.
blanket for me.
Wow, beautiful. Yes.
I made 8 blankets, and 2 of the blankets were made with a diamond from each of the other 5.
Okay.
Because the blankets were for all of the kids, and the blankets that were made up with all of their diamonds were for the matriarchs.
Oh.
So one was for my mom, and the other one I gave to my sister. And it was to wrap everybody, to just stand them up and honor them for all the work they had done the kids, each of them had different things that was going on for them, going to school, graduating, university, and those accomplishments. And then the other was to make sure that my mom and my sister knew that they had a piece of those kids with them all the time.
Oh, nice.
So they would always hold them.
We had the ceremony on Stanley Park, actually.
We went to.
Oh, I think.
we went to Stanley Park
Yes.
and we held our feast and traditional.
The elders were there that one day? No, or different?
We did this for our family.
Okay,
in,
yes.
in Stanley Park to feast and also to feed our grandparents and our family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because they hadn't been feasted in that good way.
Oh gosh, yes.
In maybe 100
Yes.
plus years, right?
If
So
that, yeah.
like I remember as a child that my grandparents insisted we had picnics there in the old village.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize it was the old village until just recently. But my grandparents, when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
they made us go and have our family picnics there every single
Wow.
year. My grandparents insisted that we go there. But that's what they were
Okay.
doing, was feeding them. And when they died, it stopped. So it's in our family, it's
The
been
forgotten
stopped for
ones.
decades
Yes,
now, right?
yes.
So it had been decades since our ancestors have been fed.
When they got Sināk back, I forget what year it was. I was still living in the condos. I was with Margaret Nahaney, Betty,
Ah.
they call. They asked me to do the burning
Yeah.
food, and I'd done a couple, but Gene took me under his wing there. I did like 4 in 3 weeks burnings,
Wow.
and I did the Sināk one,
Wow.
and I'd never remember or spoken Squamish since I was a little girl, right?
Yeah.
And they made me I'd plate it, bring it, and I'd have to say in the Squamish language the name of the person. And I think it was Peter Baker was
Yeah.
there. And he said I said them perfect. They came out.
Each time.
And the night before I was doing the cooking,
Yeah.
I was looking outside the balcony on 4th Street, looking down towards the water, right?
Yeah.
The clouds came in. First one, canoe, another canoe, 3 canoes shaped
Yeah.
in the clouds came and just stayed right above me. I was out there praying
Wow.
that my work would fulfill my purpose of being the one honored to cook for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning to pray in myself too. You know, I was still young, right?
Yeah.
And to do this, and then I look up and I said, whoa, right? To see how the 3 canoes were there full. Yes.
Wow.
And, whoa. I said, I've been able to see spirits since I was young,
Yeah.
right? I see, I hear, and it's just getting more abundance and as I get older, right?
Yeah.
I've had messages from my cousin from heaven. She married non-nation,
Yeah.
and it was the start of the COVID, so we put her funeral off for a year.
Oh.
And being First Nations, we have traditions.
Yeah.
She came to me sitting,
4
I'm sitting
days.
outside there, and she goes, where's my funeral? I could hear her just standing there like this.
Yelling at her.
Okay. I got on my tablet. Emma, your sister's here, Bucky.
Sister's here bugging me.
She wants to know where her funeral is, right?
She's asking.
When is it? So I got them to start, and I started working on the burning part. I said, she needs something. We can do the burning, right? So by the time I got it all set up and everything, and we were doing it in Musqueam, by the time I got over there, I got booted out. After all the work I did, I wasn't even included. I said,
Oh.
thanks, Emma. Way to go, Amy. I got the word out, I guess, right? You know.
You were just to send a message.
Yeah. My cousin butted I must scream too, you know.
Yep.
It's not just by name.
Yeah, I got blood in the game.
More blood than you. I do. The Campbells, the Points, the Sparrows, the Peters, you name it, the Garrons and Musgrave. I'm all related.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, here are the Bakers, the Josephs, the Pauls. You got a big family, they say. And I said, we all do.
That is true.
Yes, we all do.
Hi, my relatives. If you're enjoying this podcast, or if you have any feedback on this podcast, please let us know, because we're always trying to get better at the same time. But especially if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think we have some really cool projects coming out that you might want to check out. Please follow us on Spotify. Share our reels as well too. That helps us out so much. And yeah, just check us out. Share the word. We're working really hard to keep this content coming for you. And the support helps us out so much, and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for listening. Back to the podcast.
I feel like that's something that people that aren't from here don't really understand, is that there's so much intermarriage and intermingling between all the families
Yes.
here, you know?
Yeah. They're all kinship related.
Yeah. Squamish Musqueam, Squamish Musqueam. All my ancestors are back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And yet they fight all the time.
Well,
That's also part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the assimilated side of their nature.
Yes.
Because, they say that our people used to fight before. There was always conflict before contact. But I think the conflict before contact was always resolved. There wasn't an ongoing, lingering, hatred.
War.
Right?
Yeah.
It would happen, it would be resolved, and
and move on.
and they'd move on.
Yeah.
It was always in that way, right? So, and it would be resolved with, like, we're going to send our first daughter or first son there, and that's how we're going to resolve this, by blending our families,
Mm-hmm.
so that you will treat them as well as if they were your own children, because you know that your own are coming here.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that that's how they resolved.
Well,
a lot
even
of-
back in the day, the kings and queens, they'd marry certain families, right, to maintain
Alignments,
the peace. Yeah,
right?
Alliance. Yeah,
Alliance, yeah.
Even they practice it. Yeah, or they followed us.
They followed us. Well, they followed us. We know that.
Just like they're trying to disprove the Bering Strait, right? And no.
We didn't walk across.
No, we
the
didn't go
bridge.
anywhere.
We were always here.
Yes. That's what I say. We never immigrate anywhere. We're
Nope.
still here.
We're just always here.
We don't move for nobody.
I know. See, they just didn't get it.
Yes.
And here we still are.
Yeah.
It's time immemorial.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
He talks about that. Costellano talks about that, I think.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
talks about that. But I mean, like, is there, like, I'm sure we can talk forever. I will run out of memory in the cameras eventually. But is there any other stories that you wanted to share or talk about, or anything that we missed? I could watch you two. I could watch you two go back and forth, gabbing all night long.
Yes. Yes. I don't know, like being called a matriarch too, is that's the past, right?
Yeah.
The past. No, we still believe our ways. We still rely on the women of our communities and for guidance, and I still look for it too, and got to teach my young ones where to go to help, to find the help, what they need, and it's just who we are. It's just what we do. We're always taking care, even if they're not our children. I'm out there watching all the kids running back and forth and that, and down the block there's another parent there down there. I says, we're block watching without no one realizing it. I said,
Yeah.
I hear the kids in the park. I recognize voices.
Yep.
And
You know
laugh.
who's there.
Yes. And so I've got really good hearing. I do.
Mum hearing.
No, but not the. Yeah. Blinders on.
He knows what that is.
But we don't even know it. We're teaching our young ones the way we are.
Yeah.
Even today we still hold on to our beliefs and systems, and the big word colonizing. Is we got to stop saying that. We got to go back to who we are. You can use the word, but not in the same sentence anymore.
Because we're not going back.
No.
We're actually just continuing the unbroken line of using the teachings.
Yes.
They are part of our fiber of who we are.
Yes.
So
It's in our DNA.
yeah.
It's in our DNA. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is our purpose.
And it's not an ethereal thing. It is a real
Entity.
validity
It
entity.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Mhm.
it's like when you talk about getting those, seeing your son and knowing that he was going to come back as your grandson.
Yes.
Those are those differences that say this is matriarchy, and it's because it's in the blood, it's in the bone, it's in the spirit, and all those things woven together make that
Yes.
what it is. So you're not hearkening back to the past, you're just evolving, like you're just moving as
We're still spinning that web and
Yeah.
working and weaving with it.
exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And to continue, this is the way it is,
Unbroken, passing the stories,
yes.
passing the teachings,
Yes.
the next generation. And it's like all the children of our community are our children.
Yes.
They're not like, oh, well, that's so-and-so's.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
just all our children. You look at them the same way. Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. They all call you auntie and uncle.
Yeah, you
and
feed
yes.
them, you love
Yeah.
them the same way as you do
Yes.
your own, and you send them on their way home.
I only had the one daughter, but yet I had like 10 kids with me all the
House
time.
full all the time. Yeah,
Yes.
That's us.
That's our house too.
How many? These all your kids? I go, no. I only got one. One? To say, but you got a whole neighborhood all the time. Yes.
Well, they know where they're
You
going to
must
be
have
fed.
you must have had hot dogs that
and
day.
brought
or
down to
something.
the river, swimming and stuff. They
Well,
know who to go
A
with.
willing adult who's going to watch, we're coming with
Yes.
you.
But it was fun.
And it's
Yeah.
quintessential to all of it, right?
Yeah.
To build off of that, like on our storytellers, we ask this question to every single guest that ever comes on, and it's, what do you want people in my generation to start focusing on or doing today?
Is okay, like everything is political, right? We need to come back to our own custom laws, and even if it's in our own community, to believe this is the way it is and still going to be in the future to come, that we need to train our kids into the businesses, the land claims, the financials, keep them home, keep them close, healthcare, education, like we are doing now, but we need to focus more on bringing more in
Our own.
to keep out non-nation members working for us.
Yeah.
We are a community. We can pull it together. We can teach them, especially education is one of the most that I relied on.
Yeah.
And it brought me to my career I went through, right? I was number one in my personal care attendant program. I was third top in Squamish Nation in that year of training, right? And I got 2 bursaries for it, because I was so willing and dedicated to what I was learning and understanding it and excelling, because this is what I wanted, right? To care for my elders in the proper way. And I just loved working with my elders, right? I was forced retired 2019.
Oh.
Yes. And I had to resign personal care in 2015 to take care of my dad, who maybe a couple years and he was gone.
Yeah.
And then I had to, since I resigned, I couldn't go back. I had to go casual back on call for 30 years of full-time service. And that's what
how
really
they treated it.
that's
right? The employer.
that was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
That's
The
right.
nation healthcare treated it
And
that way,
yes.
right? Yeah.
And to not even look me in the eye and say, no, we can't. They just looked down like this, right? You know, you can at least look at me in the face, I said to them when I walked up.
Oh.
Yes. And be denied education through our services. I wanted, after the personal care, I wanted to become an LPN. You're going to be too old by the time you graduate.
It changed after that, I think, didn't it?
Yes.
Right.
But, you know, to deny.
That makes me really sad because
I got denied too, my sister as well. And after things changed, it was whole different after that. It started to improve. And it's better now, which is one of the
good.
reasons why I was able to go back to school for this project.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And to be able to start bringing this forward. Because telling the stories of our women, everyday, real Squamish women
Yes.
in their life experience and what that's like, because it's important.
That's what kept me saying, the education, the learning, knowing what I'm doing, you know, that's what I encouraged kids. Keep your education, go further, you know.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be good at what you're doing, you'll know what to do, you know.
So education.
Yes, education.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's important to work hard. at
Yes,
that too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because, you know, like me, I was alone. I had no one to rely on. I was independent all my life after that, right? Because I cannot rely on somebody that's not there. I need to do it myself now, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And so I'm my own strength. I am going to do it. You know,
Yeah.
you got to speak good to yourself. You got to be kind to yourself. You got to encourage yourself. Do not talk negative about the things you do or because you can't do it anymore. You know, it's a purpose for you to slow down, you know.
Right.
But strive for that education, I say. Yes.
Awesome.
It worked for me.
Granny,
it
Granny
did.
told me the same thing in the very
Did
first
she?
episode ever.
Yeah.
She said to
His
be in,
grandma.
she said to be in Nahaney means you're educated. That's what she
Yes.
said. But so second last question. And it's, what does ceremony mean to you?
Ceremony is carrying on and honoring our ancestors and knowing what they've taught us, who to be and who we are, and to build a bigger us. Be proud of who you are. I'm so proud of being Squamish, right? If you go out and ask somebody, what are you proud of? You know, they won't say Squamish, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm proud to be me, you know? Yeah, it's who I am. It's how I express myself. I'm a Squamish Nation matriarch. I'm a free woman. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Well,
That is awesome.
and I appreciate you teaching me today. Go, Mom. Boom. Last question. Do you want to dedicate this podcast to anybody?
I'd like to say my dad.
That's beautiful.
Even though, you know, he was the male figure, he was the shadows, but he was my strength. He's always been there for me in my thoughts, in my heart. Just sitting with him, watching golf makes my day. You know, just being with him spiritually. I think about him all the time. I loved him so much. So that's where it's going. It's for my dad.
Oh, so beautiful.
beautiful.
Yes.
He'll love
Yes.
it. Yeah. You will.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us. Y'all can keep going. I'm just gonna turn off the cameras, but by all means, keep going. And if you ever need anything, I'm right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
right
where
here.
I don't know why I went to that house down there first. I saw 2. Oh no, it's supposed to be 3. Or what? Like, I'm on the wrong side.
The wrong side of the street.
Yeah.
We're such a small community.
So I stood there and laughed a bit and said, I got the wrong house, right? Yeah.
Keep going.
If you need anything, I'm just down the road. And
Yes.
and when your book is ready, you can come back on here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'll sell it to the masses.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So you can market it through here
If
and
you
come back
ever-
and talk just about your book.
Yes.
Because they'll do
They were
another
even
podcast.
saying just video it yourself, video it, and then you can
Why?
write it make it into the book. You know?
This is
Nah.
the communities, so you can use this whenever you want.
Yeah. You want to come back and do another one? You got something you want to talk about? Get a hold of
Sure.
Riel.
Yes.
Just call me.
Sounds good.